justifying certain worldly events. Well, what do you mean by that? Thinking of loved ones being constantly uncomfortable. The certain worldly events, to think of it is a sign of waswas. Or when you're thinking that loved ones are being uncomfortable, it's a sign of waswas. I don't see the connection too much. Certain things are happening in the world. The world is upside down. It's preparing itself for certain disaster. Is this English or translated from Turkish? To understand how the world has come to this situation, you have to sit down and you have to learn. Not through books. You have to learn through sohbat. How this world has come into this situation where there is fire burning everywhere, where there are wars being fought, more now today than has ever been before, where we have poisoned the environment, the water, the land and the air, where the regimes have taken over everything and turned people into becoming products to be used or as robots. That there is no mercy, there is complete oppression, there is no intelligence, there is no modesty. Where those ones holding the titles of imams and shaykhs, they have already been bought and they have sold themselves. When those who are calling themselves scholars fall into that category where Hazrati Mahdi alayhi salam, when he comes to the world first, is going to cut off the necks of 70,000 scholars. Definitely they're not righteous scholars. This is not waswasa. This is putting the worldly events into your belief, what Allah wants, and what the future is going to be. You may say, is this Malayani? Are these thoughts that doesn't concern us? It concerns us to a point. Although we're living on top of a mountain, we're looking at the whole world from the top of the mountain. We're not pulling ourselves back to live on the top of a mountain to be secluded from everything. We are not involved with everything, but we're watching everything, and the best view is from the top of a mountain. When you are in the thick of it, you cannot see. But when you are removed, you can see. Up to a point, how our Shaykh has taught us to look, to understand, and to take lesson from, then the worldly events now unveils itself. Slowly we put that together with Allah's plans and the plans of the awliya Allah, and we understand what we should do. Because the knowledge comes with a job, a responsibility. So what are you responsible for when you know that knowledge? Muslims everywhere in the world, they are not just uncomfortable. Individual and community, they are under oppression. Whether it's by their own nafs, or by the nafs of others, or by oppressive regimes, east and west, north and south. If we are not understanding how we have come to this point, where were we before, we will not be able to take lesson from it. If we sit in sohbat, we will break this down easy. We will understand a little bit more. What is our job then? How we're going to take lesson from all of this and how to move forward. Because yes, we're in the top of a mountain, not just to live here, simple, and then to die, to go. If we do that, we win too. But we are sitting here also, preparing ourselves for those very hard days, for those huge war that is coming, that spiritual war. And we are preparing ourselves. Once you have that knowledge and you know what to do with it, you will not be burdened and crushed under that knowledge. If you don't know what to do with it, you are going to be crushed with that knowledge, and that knowledge then becomes malayani, things that doesn't benefit you. Inshallah Rahman, like what we said before, association is important. This much we can say. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Afiyat also, bring your tea.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. What is the purpose of man's creation?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made that clear in the Holy Quran 1400 years ago. Although this question is unclear in so many faiths, in so many traditions, in so many religions, it's become a big question in Western philosophy for thousands of years. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it clear for us 1400 years ago. And in reality, He has made it clear to all believers from the time of Adam alayhi salam. 124,000 prophets brought clarity to the purpose of man's creation. And it has not changed. We are fortunate to belong to the nation of the most blessed one, the pride of all creation, Hazrat Mustafa alayhi salatu wassalam. And we belong to the nation that has been granted so much blessings in this world and the hereafter, that we have received the full completion of the religion of Allah, that it may have come in pieces from 124,000 prophets, each one bringing something new and something new, like a rose that is opening. Adam alayhi salam came with a bud. Nuh alayhi salam is opening a little bit more. Ibrahim alayhi salam is opening a little bit more. Isa alayhi salam is opening, but with the Holy Prophet alayhi salam, it completely blossomed. No more. The moon became full, complete. It cannot become more full than that. And it's going to last now, that moon, up till Judgment Day. And so, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen us, and He has made it very clear to us in the Holy Quran, in His own words, what is the reason of man's creation. And that is the purpose of religion. That is the purpose of faith. That is the purpose of Islam. People are looking at creation, man's life as one, and religion as another. New style coming from the West saying that we invented religions. New style saying that, hasha astaghfirullah, they're saying we created gods. Of course, if you're coming from the philosophy, Greek philosophy saying man is the center of all things, we are the center, then definitely you're going to say, if I'm the center, I'm the most important, so I have to worship me. I have to find something, someone like me. That's why in other religions you see them worshipping a version of man. And Islam, Kul hu Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. There's nothing that you can compare Him with. Nothing. They're saying, oh, Allah speaks, right? So we speak. It is not the same. Allah hears and we hear. It is not the same. It is just something slightly similar, but it is not the same. Completely not the same. Shaykh Efendi used to tell us the story. It is like if a man stays in a room and all he sees is a mouse. And if somebody tells him, I saw an elephant, the man's understanding is a mouse. Nothing beyond that. So the man who's trying to make him understand that there is an elephant is going to say, well, he has 4 feet, but he's big. Oh, just like a mouse, the other one is going to say. He has a very long nose. Nose like a mouse, the other one is going to say. But it is completely different. Now, in Islam, the purpose of man's creation, it is not this world. Man is not created for this world. Man is created for Allah. And Allah's existence is not just in this world. Our existence is not just in this world. This world is just a temporary stopover. We had an existence that is pre-eternal, that you cannot put a time because time didn't exist then. And we're going to continue the journey to post-eternity, that time does not have an existence then either. This is just a stopover, but man still stuck thinking, it's a mouse. There's nothing else but a mouse. We say there are other different kinds of it. It's mouse. What are you talking about? Mouse, mouse, mouse. World, world, world. Dunya, dunya, dunya. But Islam has come to teach us. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, through his mouth, Allah's words, the Holy Quran, saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, we have created man and the jinns and the men, only to know us and to worship us. That is the purpose of our creation. It is not to live in this world. Now for a believer, it is not even to pass on to paradise. It is to know Allah and to worship Allah. Because the purpose of our creation now is to return to our Lord. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in that ayat, we have created the jinns and the men only to know us and to worship us. Billions of people, not only Muslims, Jews, Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, saying we worship. We worship Allah. We worship God. But how are you going to worship something, Allah, if you don't know Him? So the purpose of our creation is to know Him in order to worship Him. To know that there is La ilaha illallah. There is nothing in existence except for Allah. To know that Allah is the greatest. So, tariqat is not an option. Tariqat is not alternative. Tariqat is not something that is, if you have free time, it's a hobby. Tariqat is for those that wants to go deeper into understanding the reason of their creation. That praying, fasting, doing all these things is just starting the engine of your heart. Now the engine is starting. The car must go somewhere. Where are we going with this? Because so many people pray and fast and go to Hajj and give zakat heedlessly. If their concentration is still this dunya, if their concentration is not to know Allah, then all this worship is heedless. Because the purpose of worship is to know Allah. Once you know Allah, that time, your prayer, your fasting, your Hajj takes on a completely different level. That time your life is going to be zikr. Your life is going to be prayer. That time, yes, there is no good in this life. Good is only in the hereafter. like what Holy Prophet ﷺ sang in the Battle of Uhud. So tariqat, they are for those ones who takes this ayat seriously, the meaning of life, the purpose of our life, to know Allah. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ has made it clear. Like I said, this is not philosophy. This is not concept. This is not something mysterious. He made it clear. He who knows himself knows his Lord. Prophet has said this. So now everything comes a circle. Because in a circle, the beginning is the end. There is no real starting point of a circle if you look at a circle. The beginning is the end. So the beginning of knowing yourself is the end. If you know yourself, you will know your Lord. So this is what tariqat is. You want to know your Lord in order to worship Him. You go deeper to know yourself. To know yourself, you have to have a mirror. And that mirror is a Shaykh who is going to show you yourself. And once you understand yourself and you remove the veils from your heart and you submit, full submission to your Shaykh, to your Prophet, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that time you will fulfill the purpose of your creation. That is the end product. It is a journey that we're going to. The journey is very important to us. Our intention is that. Some people asking, when is this going to happen? I've been in tariqat for so long. 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. When is it going to happen? Like some people saying, when am I going to achieve enlightenment? When am I going to become a saint? Worshipping 10 years, 20 years, I'm still stuck. I'm still not a saint. I'm still not seeing anything. Then if you do that, if you say that, your intention is wrong from the beginning. Now, when we submit, we become a tool to our Shaykh. When we become a tool to our Shaykh, then it doesn't matter how he uses us. It's going to be blessed. Then that time, our satisfaction comes from what? Huh? Our satisfaction then comes knowing that He's pleased with us. So now, service comes. Watching our manners come. Doing everything to please Him becomes the key to fulfilling the purpose of our creation. This is what is called love, where everything you do is to please that one. This is the purest kind. It is not to please you, it is that one. Then that time, it doesn't matter if that one is going to give you enlightenment or not. It doesn't matter if it gives you a rose or the thorn of a rose. It is the same because it is coming from His hand. You understand? If you can fall in love with your Shaykh and submit to him that way, he will take this submission and present it to the divine court of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. You pass through certain tests, then the Prophet ﷺ will present you to the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What are we looking for? We're not looking for the divine presence of the Prophet or the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're happy with our Shaykh. And we're busy with ourselves knowing things that we have done in our past. Because now we start to think more. And all our big ambitions about what we want to have and what we want to achieve in tariqat now starts to go down, 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 down. We start to put on the cloak of humility. and to see that, you know what, we really don't deserve nothing. We don't deserve all these things. If we deserve to be punished because of all the wrong things that we have done. Let me just put my head down and be happy and to serve properly and to be sincere. And that time, it becomes very easy, it becomes very sweet, it becomes very simple. And that is a sincere step that you take towards Allah. And Allah is saying, Allah is not saying you must run towards me, you must fly towards me. He's saying just take one step towards me, and I will take 10 steps towards you. The servant becomes beloved to Allah when he fulfills his obligations, when he passes through the level of obligations, what he can and what he cannot do, the halal and harams. My servant draws nearer to me. When he starts performing actions, when he starts doing things that I did not make obligation to him. And that's the time Allah is saying, when he becomes so close to me, he will be my eyes, he will be my mouth, he will be my tongue, he will be my hands. So let's take sincere steps, inshallah, one day at a time, and watch ourselves. All this is not just nice talk. All this comes with a very heavy price. And that price is our ego. That price is our desire. That price is the dunya and the shaitan. May Allah make it easy for us and accept at least our intentions and our sincerity. Fatiha.